You know what? I'll just take the earpiece out. Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a home day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, as always, if you need an orthopedist, give our friends over at Brock a shout. They are they're simply the best, as Tina Turner would say. And of course, Hudco Roofing. If you need a roof, give us a shout 364 1007, 364 1007, 364 1007. Expecting rain the rest of the week. So things should be clear today, but I'm glowing on my dome. There we go. I was wondering why I was glowing on my dome. 364 1007. Okay, y'all. Busy day. Let's start with the super duper disappointing, concerning news. That is that Saints defensive end. That is that Saints defensive end Chase Young, who they just signed, is set to have neck surgery. Now, I feel like it's important to clarify the difference between surgery and a procedure. Adam Schefter reported he's having a neck procedure. We do not know the nature of the procedure, what it is, but there is a difference, as anyone who's had surgery could tell you, between surgery and a procedure. Surgery is when they cut. A procedure can be any type of medical procedure to provide relief or whatever the case may be. One of the hypotheticals I mentioned is like stem cells. If you have stem cell injections, that's a procedure. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's not something as serious as something that warrants surgery, which would be super concerning, obviously. But I mean, the really, um, I mean, this is kind of a there's two sides of this coin here. There's the part where the Saints knew about it. And so if they knew about the issue and still felt comfortable moving forward, part of you goes, okay, well, maybe it's not that big a deal. Now, when you're talking about someone's neck, it always feels like a big deal, right? I mean, that's the thing holding up that 10-pound bowling ball on top of your head, or 10-pound. Your neck is the thing holding up that 10-pound bowling ball on top of your shoulders. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Your neck holds up your head. It's serious if you got neck issues. Anyone that's ever dealt with it. So anyway, and when you're playing a physical position like defensive end, where you're going to be using your head and compression on the neck and the spine a lot, yes, it's concerning because it feels like the Saints, while everything is relative, it feels like they invested a good bit here into Chase Young. I mean, it's only 1 year and it's 13 million, and for that reason, I liked it. But I liked it whenever we thought we were going to have a healthy player who was a former number 2 overall pick and all that sort of stuff. Dramatically different when you're talking about a guy who's the first 4 years of his career have been marred by injuries. Now you're telling me before he even puts on a Saints helmet, he's going to have a neck procedure and probably not going to be ready for training camp. So, I mean, you continue to look at the Saints organization and you go, you have a bad head coach, you have a mid at best quarterback. You've got an aging defense where your best players, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, all in their 30s. You've got an offensive line that is not effective. You've got an aging Alvin Kamara at running back. You got some good young receivers. It's not a great recipe for success. Not really instilling a lot of confidence right now. We'll get to your questions, comments. You know the drill. As always, if you're on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate you for being there with us. The LSU basketball season ended. They lose to North Texas 84-77 in round 1 of the NIT. The game was disappointing. It's weird. If you go look at the box score, I mean, the two teams almost mirrored each other. I'm looking at it right here. Just you don't need to memorize this or anything, but field goals, North Texas 29, LSU 27. Percentage, North Texas 49.2, LSU 45. Both good field goal percentage. Three-pointers, North Texas 11 of 26, LSU 11 of 23. Three-point percentage, 42% to 47%. Like the big disparity was the free throw attempts. North Texas was 15 of 23, LSU was 12 of 12. But still, you only were separated by 3 points at the foul line. Rebounds 35 to 32, assists 13 to 15. Steals 10-9, blocks 4-3, turnovers 12-10. I mean, the box score is almost identical. It was just that you had a close ball game. They took a lead at around the 7-minute mark of the first half, flurry of threes, drove up their lead, and then never relinquished it. So it was disappointing, a disappointing way to end the season. But as we've talked about, look, you've got 2 top 100 players in the country signed for next year. You're going to hit the portal. You saw Jalen Reed and uh, Tyrell Ward this year really come along and improve as the season went along. Carlos Stewart has another year if he wants to get healthy, come back. We'll see about Jalen Cook's future. You're going to hit the portal. Um, but I think there's reason for optimism moving forward. You went from 2 wins in the league to 9 wins in NIT. Can you take that type of jump next year? And if you do, you avoid the bad losses in the pre-conference and you get to 11 wins in conference play, you're an NCAA tournament team. And I think that's very realistic for next year. So, and LSU baseball last night, they beat Louisiana Tech, and I love the lineup they went with. It's what I told you all weekend. Your best lineup has revealed itself to you. And it's Milazzo behind the plate. It's Braswell and Milam at the middle infield, and in the outfield, left to right, it's Bingham, Kling, and Pearson. That's your best lineup, and it may change. I mean, it's subject to change, right? That is your best lineup, and you need to roll with that. I'm not saying nobody else can play. I'm not saying don't use midweek games as an opportunity to get other guys at bats and reps. I'm not saying there won't be pinch hit opportunities or matchups in certain weekends where maybe you want Brady Neal catching and to get his bat in the line, whatever the case may be. But if I need to go win one game today, that's my lineup. The lineup they went with last night. All right, Von Bluesman, good morning. Hey, Juan, good morning. Pels, keep winning. Thank you, Juan. I should have mentioned that as well. Of course, there's so much going on last night. Pels were a 7.5-point road favorite last night at the Nets, who are not a good team. And that's what good teams should do. You should beat bad teams. So not only did the Pels win, they covered a 104-91. Another good game for Zion last night. Who it's amazing how much better you look when you actually have all of your best players. Zion had 28 points last night. Cam Thomas was leading scorer for the Nets, by the way, with 25. Shocker that Cam Thomas can shoot the basketball and score. Let's see. Matt Plavidal, good morning. Any morning, Matt, expected news on Chase Young? I didn't expect it. I mean, I didn't know that. If I did, I would have told you yesterday when we were talking about the signing and I was celebrating it. Trivia Carter, good morning. Taylor Hudson, James McKinney, Jason Horn, good morning. Kicks of the day. Got some G Nikes on, Jason. I like them. They're loud, but I like them. All right. JLJ504HD, salute that Scone and crew. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for being here. Zachary Snyder, morning, Scone. Your thoughts on Moses visiting A&M with little brother and the Proctor back to Bama stuff? I'm not. Look, Dylan Moses taking a visit to A&M with his brother, I don't think it's a big deal. I think if he wants to go with his brother and look, one of the things worth remembering is, when Keelan was, so for those who don't know, Keelan Moses, linebacker for the class 2025, LSU commit, he's been the Pied Piper of this class. When Dylan was going through the recruiting process, Keelan went with Dylan on a lot of his visits. So this feels really just like him being a good big brother. I would be floored if Keelan Moses ever flipped from LSU. The way he has been so outspoken as the leader of this class and promising Brian Kelly's bringing a championship to Baton Rouge and building the biggest class. And yeah. Like, it would be a stunning about face, as stunning a flip as any that I could remember if Keelan Moses doesn't end up at LSU. I think he will. Um, Jerry G, Sam Weber, Brett DeGrow. Jerry said Chase Young will be ready for September. That's fine, Chase. And you know our old adage from Mike D: practice is for the unskilled. Talented veteran players don't need camp, and I agree with that. The problem is Chase Young isn't a talented veteran player. He's been an injury-prone player for 4 years, and now he's going to be on his third team within 2 seasons. Like, I need that guy to get acclimated. Chris P, good morning. Cherokee Fire DA. Yes. I wish they would have done that already. Kelly Gross, Bubba Smith, Tommy Primo, Cajun Country. Very disappointed with basketball, but they overachieved this year. One of the Saints going to stop paying for players' rehab so they can leave in 1 year getting old. I'm trying to think, when did that happen? Who am I missing that they paid for a player to rehab who left after a year? You know, I think look, I'm not going to defend the Saints. When they warrant defending, I will. When they don't, I won't. And I think they've been a poorly run organization. My hope is that in going through the medical, they felt comfortable in signing him, and that it does work out. But you are lying to yourself if you don't feel a smidge different about this today than you did 24 hours ago. Irfan Sayad, good. Gamorgan. Tiger Diver, good morning. Larry Garner. Kevin McKnight, good morning. Brian Wynn. Jeff McKithen, what's good? Roll Tide 99. What do you think of the news? Caden Proctor is expected to leave Iowa, return to Bama. Potential sign of things to come in the future, if not the spring transfer window. Hadn't heard Caden Proctor was returning to Bama, and I don't really care. Brent St. Germain, good morning. Taz, good morning. Is it strange for all three of the Browns quarterbacks to have guaranteed contracts? Honestly, Taz, I can't tell you that I know enough about the Browns cap situation to give you an honest answer on that. Let me see. I'll tell you this. The contract they gave Deshaun Watson was bonkers. And I was really curious if that was going to prove to be a trendsetter, right? Would we start to see more quarterbacks or players with that leverage demand fully guaranteed deals like you in baseball and in the NBA? And clearly that hasn't been the case. I'm looking at, so the Browns presently are $2.8 million over the cap. Man, I'm doing this very quickly. Taz, I'm trying to give you a reasoned answer, and I probably should just move on because I don't have anything. But, I mean, I think it depends on the length of the deal, how it leverages against the cap, how you spread out the cap hits. I mean, all that. So the fact that it's fully guaranteed, I don't know. I don't. It really just depends on the roster, and I don't know enough about the Browns cap situation. So sorry. Tim Gotro, good morning. Merrick Mathern, will Chase Young be ready for the start of the season? That's the hope. But we'll see. And that's the real concern, right? Because when you look at your pass rushers, Cam Jordan's aging, had 2 sacks a year ago. Carl Granderson had a career year, 8.5 sacks. Peyton Turner has given you nothing since you drafted him. Isaiah Foskey had 0 sacks last year. So you got a lot of draft capital tied into those two guys. I mean, do you count on Tano Passanio, whose career high is 4.5 sacks? You know what I mean? You were hoping for Chase Young to be an immediate impact guy for you. And I think that's very much in question now. Christian BK is going to be on the pivot with RC. Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, if you missed that, so for the LSU football coaches clinic next month, they're going to do a live taping of the pivot with a live audience, with Brian Kelly as the guest. So that'll be really cool. I look forward to that. To have Ryan and Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder at LSU and have a live audience. I'm trying to get by there for it. That'd be really cool. Johnny Troxler, what's good? Tim Gotro, notice the guitar in the background. We're going to get Scone unplugged in the future. I have from time to time picked up the guitar and strummed it here on Morning Scone. I don't know that well, okay. You know what? Tim? Here you go. I'll give you a few chords. Hang on. I don't know that anybody desperately wants to hear this, but can you name that tune? You should have been able to name that tune. Anyway, all right. Where are we? Lowell Cormier, morning, Matt, in Tucson, Arizona. All right, Lowell. Good morning, man. Lowell, a little warmer, I would assume, in Tucson than up there in Minot, North Dakota. James Avery, good morning. Charles Bouquet, morning, Matt. Love the show. Look forward to it every day. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you, man. Y'all smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel. We appreciate you for being there. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Hunter Broadhead, good morning. Ronnie Dugat, you've never been fire the coach guy. It's bad. Ronnie, here's the thing. And this is an important distinction, okay? And this isn't semantics. This is actually what I believe, and it's an important distinction. There are times when I believe an organization or a school should move on from a coach. And when that's the case, I will say it. I will give you my opinion. What I will never do is demand someone be fired. I'm never going to go and say, you got to fire so-and-so. And that's always been my distinction because I wouldn't want someone stumping for me to lose my job, although that happens. And it's not going to happen, by the way. So I don't want to be the guy who's like demanding someone lose their job. That's what I mean more so. But when someone asks me for an opinion, like, do I think the Saints as an organization should move on from Dennis Allen? Yes, I do. I do think that. Because I believe he's revealed what he is as an NFL head coach, and he's not a good one. And so you have two paths. You continue with the square peg round hole, or you pivot and try to find the person that's going to lead you back to to a championship level team, because the guy you have right now, in my opinion, isn't that. But I'm not going to sit here and pound the table and demand someone be fired, because I don't believe that's my job. Merrick Mathern said, with the signing of Young, is the Peyton Turner experiment finished? I don't know that you could say definitively it's finished, but I think there's a real possibility that he gets cut in camp. I mean, I think you have to acknowledge that, because look, if you've got Cam Jordan's going to make the team, obviously Chase Young and Carl Grant are going to make the team. That's three. You'll have Isaiah Foskey, Tano Passanio, and as you mentioned, Peyton Turner. You're not keeping six defensive ends. So someone in that group is getting cut, and it might be Peyton Turner. Hey, Deborah Coward, good morning. Von Bluesman, Matt, checked out an auction site that listed Kobe Bryant Black Mamba autograph shoes, starting bid $10, sold for $17.5. I believe it. I'm surprised they went that low, quite honestly. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jason Mobile, does Ruckus still sponsor Kick Rocks? They do. Um, let's see. Okay. All right, Jason, good looking out. I need to go set my notifications on the sneakers app today. Jay Borden, Damon Gilmore, Anthony Thomas, Spring, Texas on LinkedIn. Thank you for being there, Anthony. Started when I got the new streaming software, we started sending the feed to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So uh, the LinkedIn crowd is slowly building, but we appreciate y'all for being there. So Anthony, thank you for being there this morning. Um, Keeping a real Who Dat Sports podcast. Good morning, Matt. It's being reported that other teams knew of his injury, and that's why his market was low. Do you think it was worth the risk? Well, I mean, Schefter reported that, and not that other teams knew, that the Saints knew as well, that they were aware of it. Everyone was aware of it. I mean, it's why you get physicals before you sign a free agent deal. Um, Short answer to your question is yes, I do. I do think that's why his market was soft. Uh, Coupled with the fact that he's been an injury prone player, but when you have an injury prone player with now another injury on top of it, yes, that's going to make some teams cautious. It's also worth noting that the Saints gave him a fully guaranteed $13 million deal. How many teams are going to be willing to give Chase Young a fully guaranteed? How many teams, first of all, needed a potential starter at defensive end? How many teams with that need were willing to say 1 year, 13 million guaranteed for Chase Young is a better option in the draft, or a more reliable, healthy starter in the NFL. It's so the market shrinks certainly, um, because of all of those uh, situations. Jason H, yes, that was the Open to Alive, the intro to Alive by Pearl Jam. Tim Gotra, way better than I can do the six string. Tim Low Cormier, what's good? Hey, all right, Jason. Yeah, Drew looks good enjoying baseball. We started Miracle League last night, so I posted some pictures from the first game. Drew is on the Giants this year. He was on the Marlins last year, but he's on the Giants this year, and I was very proud because if you go see the pictures on my Instagram, I guess they're on Facebook too. I linked it through to Facebook. Drew is wearing a hat, and he does not it's a sensory thing, and he usually does not wear a hat. So for him to keep his hat on for the game was pretty cool. And when I walked up, because their game started at 6, my show ended at 6, so I was late getting there. But when I walked up, it was really cool. He had on like a hoodie with his jersey over it and his hat on backwards. I mean, he looked like a little boy, he just looked like a normal little boy, which did my heart good. So we don't get a lot of like normal parent moments, so to see a normal parent moment was kind of fun. Let's see, Vaughn, the guitar kind of glitched when you switched to some other entry on the keyboard. Couldn't hear it clear like your mic is. Probably it didn't glitch, Vaughn. It was probably just because it was loud. It was over. I'm sure it was over modulating is what it was. Patrick Berglass, morning, Matt. You fill out your men's bracket yet? Who you got winning it all? I have not, Patrick. I have not honestly even looked at the bracket yet. Full disclosure, I have not even looked at the bracket. But we got Mama Scone today, so I need to fill out my bracket today. Remember, you can compete in the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge bracket challenge. So make sure you fill out your bracket. Also, I guess I should keep reminding you of this. The before we bounce. Best of 225. I think voting closes beginning of April 3rd. Let me see if I got that right. April 3rd is the last day to vote. Your boy was nominated for best radio personality. I'll go ahead and drop the link in here. Would much, much, much appreciate it if you would just click the link and vote for your boy for best radio personality. As I mentioned, all you need is an email address to vote. So I've won it once, as I mentioned before. My best of 225 plaque is right there. It was from 2020. I edged out Murphy, Sam, and Jody. It was like I got 25.6% of the vote, and they got like 25.4% of the vote. It was super, super close. So every vote matters and all that stuff, and I'd appreciate it if you just take a quick second and click that link and vote. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right. Patrick Ramos, thank you. Don't take the interstate accident, I-10 and Highland. Thank you for the heads up. Shiloh, morning, Matt. By the way, do you know what direction? I'll look it up on Waze. I don't know if anyone's asked, but do you think Tyron can pitch getting Pat Pete or Trey White? Um, I look, Silo. I don't think Trey White. I think Trey's going to be expensive, and I don't think the Saints are going to pay another cornerback. Uh, Peterson is interesting because I think the Saints could use. Well, not I don't think they could use safety help. I mean, you cut ties with Marcus May, and they may love Jordan Howden and Jonathan. I know they like Jonathan Abram. He played a lot for him last year, but you could certainly use another safety. And Patrick Peterson played really well at safety for Pittsburgh last year. He had a good season. It was just he was a cap casualty as an aging veteran. So yes, I would not be opposed at all to the Saints signing Patrick Peterson. And yes, I know they're the oldest defense in the league, and that would just make them even older. But I would be okay with Patrick Peterson on a 1-year deal to come play safety. Okay, two more. Cajun Country, your Bama is burning segments need to be on repeat. You'll win best of 225. And Christian, should you wait until after the draft to get Ocho on the show? I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. I was planning on reaching out to him this week because it's been a couple weeks. I told him I'd wait 2 weeks and circle back. So mostly, I just want to do it whenever he's available. So I will make myself available. I don't really care when he wants to do it. I mean, I'll do it today if he wanted to. Anyway, all right, we're done. Before I get out of here, y'all please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel there on YouTube, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock. They're the best. If you need an orthopedist, remember 10 locations across the greater Baton Rouge area, including the Hammond location. So shout out to our people there in Tangipahoa Parish. You have your own Brock location in Hammond. Choose the best. Choose Brock. All right. Y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily's already live in AFR 3. See ya.